Dave. This is the Rock Radio UK / Cyderbaby pod. I have no name for this show anymore. Today, I'm speaking to the magnificent voice that is Dan Byrne. Hello, sir.
That's very kind. How are you doing? You okay?
I'm okay. You're looking nice and chilled and relaxed.
Yeah. We're at home. We've got my feet up, all the rest of it. It's great.
I hear you've been abroad in the last few days or last couple of weeks.
Yes, that's correct. I've been helping out a few friends over in Germany.
Yeah.
So there was a nice little gig over there. I was joined with Michele Lupi from Whitesnake and Frank Pane from Bonfire in
Okay.
Germany. So it's been a fantastic experience. Our friend Marty put on a show over there and wanted a band together. So we've had a lot of fun in playing some music over there. It's been great.
Excellent. Last time I saw you was Firebolt Festival. You were standing in on vocals on ATAC.
Yes, for sure.
That was some gig.
Again, it was esteemed company. I was honoured to be involved with it. But the last year or so, I've been very lucky in the sense of I've got to meet a whole bunch of new musicians and those who I've looked up to for a long time as well. And to be able to stand on a stage with these guys and to sing songs that I've always loved or with musicians I've always loved, it's been the greatest pleasure.
Yeah,
it's been really, really cool.
I must have get Mike Gray as well. You were there as well, weren't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I forgot that. That was probably the last time I saw you, but that was at Stone Dead. But so
yeah, for sure.
What has happened in the last 6-7 months then in your life?
Realistically, I think in the last 12, say, I set myself the task of writing some brand new music. So I wanted to put together an EP of sorts that showcased the music that I want to play and sing and write going forward. So I locked myself in my cave, and I spent a lot of time reworking some old ideas I had or writing something new. And I really wanted to embrace a more kind of contemporary, modern sound for myself, but also with the elements that I've begun to be known for with the classic rock style voice or the blues style voice, and I've been trying to merge a way of incorporating this blues classic rock style with a more modern today's rock sound. And that was my goal for 12 months. So obviously at the end of last year, I released an EP with 4 tracks on it. And as it stands at the moment, we are currently in the process of releasing one of those singles, Like Animals. Outwards, we got full PR push behind it, and it's the first time that a lot of people who will have known anything I've done in the past will have heard my brand new music. So it's a very exciting time, really.
Yeah, I do like the crossover style of the song. I've been playing it the last few days on my breakfast shows in the mornings, and it's great because people can be pigeonholed, shall we say, into one particular brand of music, and this just opens a whole new area for you because it's quite modern. It's almost alternative rock, but
I would agree.
All those kind of things, and I think it's just like a broad spectrum. You've opened yourself up to such a wider audience, and that can only be a good thing.
Well, that was the aim, and I also didn't want to be pigeonholed because the music that I love myself is I grew up on Whitesnake and AC/DC, all these bands. However, because of my generation, I'm 26 years old now, so my generation grew up with like Kerrang era bands and a lot of these younger, more modern, and as you said, alternative rock bands, and that is a huge part of my music taste. So I also realized that I've been very fortunate to have worked with certain people that have given me a certain audience. So the people I've worked with have created this planet rock style classic rock audience. And I don't want to be pigeonholed into that either because I'm still quite young. If you look at the 80s, for instance, you look at Guns N' Roses. They had fans, young fans during the 80s from 15 to 20 something years old, and they grew with that audience. So in my head, there's no reason why I can't also do that while trying to keep a handle on the audience I currently have.
Yes.
So I would like to be, when I'm the same age as Bruce Dickinson and going out and trying to play music, I obviously want, I want a audience to have grown with me and to know my stuff, and so that was the aim. I wanted to have something that I could be proud of and I could grow with a particular audience, or my audience, in that sense.
I've got to say, I went to see Magnum. It was probably 12 months ago now or so, and there
Sure.
was like 3 or 4 generations of people in the
Sure.
audience.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what you're saying.
It is, because obviously that's not to say I'm trying to get rid of one, because I'm very, very fortunate of everybody who's bought into myself and to come along with me, and to have had any kind. I mean, I joined my old band out of nowhere, and in the space of a year, there was already a fan base there. And after gigging for about 10 years, I didn't know where that came from. I was so thrilled to have this audience where I know I could turn up to most parts of the UK and there'd be people there. And when I was 15 and playing pubs and clubs in Liverpool, and I was playing to two men and a dog kind of thing, it's such a stark contrast. So I'm so grateful for everything that's happened so far. I just want to be able to reach out, because having said that, I know for a fact, and because of conversations I've had with fans and all the rest of it, they like exactly the same music that I do.
Yeah.
So despite the fact that everyone's obviously, they might like AC/DC or Whitesnake or something, they're like Shinedown or Blackstone Cherry, who are much more of a modern rock band. That's because people aren't closed-minded and like good music.
Yeah.
So if I can write good music that people want to listen to, then there's no real barrier for who can listen to it. Is what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's talk about like Animals then, because that's the first single you're releasing from the EP.
Sure.
Just tell me the story behind the song.
It was a funny one, because weirdly at the time I was listening to a lot of rap.
Okay.
This is where it comes from. So, and there was a melody line in one of the songs I was listening to, and I was like, that's really, really cool. And then I got the guitar out, and I liked the way the vocal moved, so I tried to mimic that on the guitar. And then with a few, I was like chugging away and doing a few things. I ended up with like this main riff of the song. So I was like, right, okay, it's quite a dirty, riff rocky type of song.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so where can I go with that? And then part of me wanting to branch out, I was like, oh, the verses are very also like bass and synth laden tracks and stuff. So it's there's a lot more going on that would I've typically used in the past. So it was more because I think that was one of the first tracks that I wrote from the EP. So I just wanted to branch out and go, well, what can I do with no limitations at all? What can I do with this song? So I started messing around with synths and guitars and vocals, and I've always wanted to write songs with huge choruses. That's just the full stop of it. I like really catchy verses, and I like a huge chorus, and that is the way I really quite like to write songs.
Yeah.
So if I can imagine playing it to an arena, and you can picture people singing the song back, you go, okay, that's fantastic. That's the base. Yeah. Where do I branch out? So I just ran with it. There was I had a lot of fun just doing stuff that I never typically would have in the past. And I think the idea of it just being me, because this whole EP was me sitting in my room writing the songs. So it's not a way that I've ever typically written songs. Normally it's been collaborative, or I've had people to bounce off of. And so there's a lot of times you sit in your room and go, oh, that idea is crap. But somebody else might think it's absolutely fine. But maybe the simplicity of something, I'll go, that's not good enough. And then there's a lot more challenges where you'll be way more critical on yourself.
Yes.
However, that's the biggest struggle with the writing, I feel, because I can be quite, even if it's not perfectionism, I can be quite hard on myself.
Yeah.
So that it breeds new challenges. But I've had so much fun doing that, and like Animals basically stemmed from me wanting to be creative and go, all right, there's no rules anymore. Threw the book out. What can I do?
Yeah.
I'm very proud of it. Yeah.
So basically, what we're hearing on the single is just you. There's nobody else.
Sure. So when you hear the single, I went into the studio with my friend David, who used to be in a band called Heaven's Basement, and he produced the EP, and we've worked with him in the past. And he's one of the best producers in the UK, in my opinion. He's unbelievable. And it was me and him in a room, and effectively everything but the drums. My good friend Chris Allen, who was on tour with me recently, and he's Marco Mendoza's drummer currently. He laid down the drums for me.
Okay.
And he's done an absolutely fantastic job. And then everything else you hear on the actual tracks are either me or David, the producer. We both played guitars and the bass and synths and stuff. So it was a good week or so in the studio, just getting things down. I created the demos at home. I put together a project. We went in with this project, then we moved stuff around, and we re-recorded, say, guitars with like the proper amp and proper sound and everything we wanted to do in the studio.
Yeah.
But effectively everything you do here on those songs is either myself and or David.
Okay, so this brings a challenge then for the live scenario. Who are you going to bring in to do that little job?
But I've been very, very fortunate actually, because I am currently going to be on tour next week. So okay. I don't know when this goes out, but it'll be next weekend in March. And on bass, I have Colin Parkinson, so formerly of Inglorious and Skin.
Yeah,
which is also from the Skin lineup that I was looking up to feature in was Glenn Quinn.
Yeah.
On guitar, and formerly of Kira Mack, I have Max Reed on drums.
Oh wow! Yeah, I know Max.
So yeah, exactly. So I've got a really fantastic lineup to be doing it. Like, obviously I'll pick up the acoustic guitar for one or two songs live, but apart from that, the guys sound huge in this rehearsal room.
Yeah,
and it's spot on as to how I envisioned in my head to how it is live, and I couldn't be more pleased, to be honest.
Excellent. So this leads to the question: where are we going to be able to see you play? Because recorded music is one thing, but live is always king.
Well, you're right, and especially in today's era, it's not the 80s anymore. So
no,
to be getting out there and playing live is exactly what you need to do. So I am playing the Patriots next Friday.
Okay.
I'm playing live rooms in Chester on the Saturday, and the following week I'm in the Waterloo in Blackpool, and they're the three first shows with this lineup to try or run the new songs, to get a gauge for the crowd reaction, the music, how we play together. And then later on in the year, I'm fortunate to be playing Steelhouse Festival.
Yep.
And this year, I mean, on our day alone, there's Mr. Big, Living Colour, a few huge bands, The Almighty.
They are, yeah.
So I'm very, very excited for that. I think around that time, I'm heading to Chepstow Castle with Stonebroken, Chris Barris, and the Hot Dam.
Yeah.
And I also have a headline festival appearance for SOS Festival near Manchester. So I'm excited for the summer. I always love festival season because you not only get to hang about with people that you don't see for the rest of the year and all the rest of it, but I'd say I think it's my third or fourth time at Steelhouse Festival now, and it's always been an absolute pleasure to play on the stage. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited.
Excellent stuff. So what does the future hold, apart from festivals and gigs? Are we expecting more singles? Are we going to expect an album? What
sure. So this year, for the meantime, I'm continuing to write.
Mm-hmm.
So Like Animals has just been pushed out. There's a very small chance that we might be pushing another one from the EP out. And if not, it might even be a new single, depending on how much I kick my own backside and get into gear.
You heard it here first, listener.
Yeah, technically. And also because I am writing, I'm going to be writing for an album. So ideally, I want to be getting an album out in the near future. No dates yet, because I need the songs first, because at the end of the day, the song's the most important part of music. So as soon as I'm happy with the songs, we can push them out, get them recorded, and hopefully have a new album in the very near future.
Well, I mean, not to put any pressure on you, of course, but my diary is looking rather empty in July for album reviews. So if if we could have it there ready, that would be fantastic.
I'll get to it. No, that's very funny.
Dan, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. I mean, what would you like to say, just to wrap things up? What would you like to say to the fans that have followed you so preciously over the last couple of years?
I'd like to say firstly, thank you. There's a lot of things that I would never have achieved in my wildest dreams if it wasn't purely from the support of fans. Be it through every project that I've moved through, featured in, everything. There's been, I see the same faces up and down the country, and everyone has been ultra supportive. And I never thought that I would achieve that. I've always believed that I could be a musician. I always believed that I could go out and play there, but you are nothing if the people on the other side of the stage don't want to be there. So the fact that so many people have left me lovely messages, have kept in touch. I've had fans, during the whole period of the last 12 months, check in on a regular basis with me. And there's friendships there that you never thought you'd make, and if it wasn't for all of you, all of the fans, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be able to stand on a stage. So ultimately, it's just the biggest thank you. I want to say that the new music that I'm creating is my favorite of my career so far. So with any luck, as soon as we got this album out, I want to push it out to as many people as possible. And I'd love to see everybody at a show at some point in the near future.
Excellent. Well, Dan, I wish you all the very best for the single release and the EP and the album out in August, obviously.
Yeah, stop it. Yeah, thank you so much, though, Dave. That's
All
really
right.
kind.
Take care.
You too, mate.